Okay, today we are going to talk about strippers. Not those kinds of strippers, we're talking about these kinds of strippers. So most people within the maker community are going to be familiar with something like this. If you've ever done any electronics, if you go and clamp it down in the right hole, you can just pull the plastic coating to expose some wire. These are really reliable, but this is kind of for beginners, so let's get rid of that. And I'm going to show you what I normally use, which is this guy. So these are automatic strippers, and essentially they do the same thing but much quicker. So I'm going to show you how quickly it strips wire. So just like that. I strip a lot of wires, so this is definitely the easiest way to do that. You can get a very small amount stripped off the end, or a much larger amount stripped off. Another thing that I really like about these, and actually the reason I got it was I was splicing in the middle of some wires, and that's really time consuming. This one, you just do that, and then you can wrap these wires together. So it's super great for being able to splice wires together like that. It's not something you can normally do with a traditional wire stripper. You can also get very close and very small, so that's just about the right amount to solder to a pad on some electronics. The other thing that I super love about this is I do a lot of stuff with NeoPixels. So this is basically 3 wires that are put together, and I need to strip a tiny amount off of there, but I don't want to separate these wires so they stay nice and put together. So what I can do with this is I can basically it's that easy to strip off from all 3 wires, and everything's put together. That is perfect for soldering directly to a set of NeoPixels. Now I use a little bit thinner gauge wire. This is basically the same stuff. It's 3 wires that are put together, just a little bit thinner gauge. I use this for wearable electronics, and as you can see, I do the same thing, and it just strips the plastic coating right off of those and exposes all 3 wires. It has this little bit of an adjustment knob right here, but I don't really ever have to use this one. It seems like this thing works perfectly fine on just about any small gauge wire that I'm using for small electronics stuff. You can see this one has these little teeth cast into the head here, and you can see the little mechanical motion. So first it clamps down the wire, and then it pulls. So that's what you want to do when you're using this wire stripper, is you want to kind of slowly pull until you see these teeth clamp down, and then you just pull really hard to get that jerking motion, and that gets you a clean cut off of there. If you do it a little bit slower, it doesn't always strip like that. It might slide and kind of sand some of this off. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more aggressive, this one's the next step up. So this one's for smaller gauge hookup wire. This is for like high voltage electricity wire. You can see the big difference is in here. It has these hardened metal, well, I'm assuming they're hardened metal, but these way more aggressive teeth that are implanted in here. So this is really good for getting off a lot of thick wire coating. But with some of the thinner gauge hookup wire, this can actually, it's aggressive enough to where it can just split the wire. So this is mostly for high gauge stuff. This one I get a huge amount of use from, so I recommend if you're doing any amount of significant wiring, this one's the one to get. I have a few of these, and whenever I do any kind of workshops or anything, I always bring these because nobody wants to use that other kind of wire stripper. So that's the tool that I want to recommend for today. Thanks for watching. I'll post where you can get this tool down in the links below, and like and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos.